The wind on Epsilon 6 was never silent. It howled through the metal walls of the alien outpost, carrying sand and static electricity. Soldiers in black armor stood near a large cage in the center of the base. Inside the cage was a creature like no one had ever seen. It was tall, almost 10 feet, with glowing blue eyes and skin like dark stone. Claws sharper than knives, teeth like broken glass. Every time it moved, the ground shook. They called it Zorok. To the alien guards, it was not just an animal. It was a nightmare. This creature had torn through half their forces during capture. Even behind thick energy shields, they still feared it. No one dared go near the cage, not after what happened to Captain Vorin. One look too long and the monster had smashed the wall and almost killed him. But today, something strange was about to happen. A human ship fell from the sky. It wasn't large, an exploration shuttle, badly damaged, crashing into the sand just outside the base. Red flames trailed behind it. The explosion shook the outpost. Alien sirens screamed. Weapons powered up. Soldiers ran to the landing zone. Out of the smoking wreck, 5 figures stumbled out, humans. One of them stood tall, calm even in the chaos. He removed his helmet, revealing a man with short black hair and cold gray eyes. His name was Captain Eli Ward. "Don't shoot," he said in a clear voice. "We're not enemies." The alien commander, a tall, green-scaled officer, looked unsure. "This is a secure military zone," he hissed. "Why are humans here?" "Our ship lost control. Emergency landing," Eli explained. "We mean no harm." But as he spoke, his eyes moved past the guards, past the buildings, toward the cage, toward Zorok. His steps slowed. He stared at the creature, and Zorok stared back. Something in the air shifted. The alien guards noticed. "Don't go near that cage," one shouted. Eli kept walking, slowly, calmly. "You'll be killed," another guard screamed. Still he walked. His boots crunched the sand. The air buzzed with tension. Zorok stood tall, growling low. The monster's blue eyes locked onto Eli. Its body tensed. Claws dug into the floor. The shield around the cage flickered. Every guard raised their weapon. And then, Eli stopped just 2 feet from the energy wall. He looked at the creature, not with fear, but with understanding. "You're not what they think you are," Eli said quietly. Everyone held their breath. Zorok roared. Guards shouted. Weapons lit up. But Eli did something no one expected. He raised his hand and stepped into the cage. The guard screamed, "No," but it was too late. Eli passed through the shield. It didn't harm him. He walked right up to the monster. Zorok snarled, teeth bared. Its chest rumbled like thunder. Eli didn't stop. He reached out his hand, slowly, gently, and placed it on the creature's thick, scaled head. Silence. Zorok froze. The guards were frozen too. Then something impossible happened. The monster closed its eyes, and then, softly, it purred. The entire base went still. The commander dropped his weapon. Scientists stared through cameras, mouths open. Eli looked over at his shoulder. "He's not a monster," he said. "He's scared." A quiet moment passed. Then the shield buzzed loudly, and the cage powered down. Zorok made no move. He just stood calmly next to the human. Eli sat down beside him. The creature curled up like a pet next to its master. The guards didn't understand. The commander growled, "How did you do that?" "I don't know," Eli replied. "But he remembers something. Maybe me." Far above, in orbit, an old satellite turned its lens toward the planet. Hidden in the shadows of deep space, an unknown signal was sent. A human voice whispered through static. "Subject Zorok, located." Zorok sat beside Eli like a silent shadow. The soldiers didn't move. No one spoke. The monster, once feared by all, now acted calm, peaceful. The alien commander finally broke the silence. That's impossible, he said. No one can control it. Eli stood slowly. I'm not controlling him. I think he trusts me. Why would a killing machine trust a human? The commander asked. Eli looked at Zarok. Maybe he remembers something. Or maybe he just sees I'm not afraid. Inside the command center, scientists watched the footage again and again. He walked through the shield, one whispered. The energy field didn't react to him. That's not normal. That cage is coded to reject all life forms, except... Another paused, then looked at a file marked HFY, Project Chimera. We need to inform the council, he said. Immediately. That night, Eli sat beside Zarok inside the cage. The creature didn't sleep, but it rested. It made soft humming sounds, like a lullaby. Eli didn't recognize the tune, but it felt human. He looked at Zarok's massive body. Scars covered its arms. Some looked like burn marks, others like surgical cuts. Not natural wounds. What did they do to you? He whispered. Zarok opened one eye. It glowed softly in the dark. The next morning, the aliens made a decision. Zarok was too dangerous, too unpredictable. The commander gave the order, terminate it, before it escapes again. Eli heard the news from a soldier. They're charging the plasma cores now. The cage will overheat. It'll die in minutes. No, Eli said. You can't do that. It's not your choice, human. This thing killed dozens of our kind. He was protecting himself. You locked him up, tortured him, and now you want to kill him again? The soldier looked away. Orders are orders. Eli ran to the cage. Zarok stood up, sensing the danger. Its eyes turned brighter. It growled softly. I'm getting you out, Eli said. Zarok tilted its head. Eli opened his wrist console. I've still got emergency overrides from when I was a captain. Let's hope they didn't delete my access. He tapped the screen. Access denied. Access denied. Override accepted. The cage lights flickered. The shield powered down. Sirens blared. Guards rushed forward. Step away from the creature, they shouted. Zarok roared. The ground shook. No, Eli yelled. Don't hurt them. Zarok looked at him, then stood between Eli and the guards. It didn't attack, just blocked the way. Then Eli said the one word that would change everything. Run. The monster exploded forward. It smashed through a steel door. Guards fired stun blasts. Zarok ignored them. It crashed through buildings and jumped over barricades, moving like a living storm. Eli ran behind him. Soldiers tried to stop them, but Zarok protected Eli at every turn, blocking fire, knocking down walls, even carrying Eli once across a broken bridge. They reached the outer cliffs of the planet. Below was a deep canyon and a river of black water. Zarok stopped and looked back. They were surrounded. Alien ships hovered above. Soldiers aimed from all sides. The commander shouted through a speaker. This is your last chance. Surrender the creature. Eli looked at Zarok. You don't have to fight. Just follow me. Zarok stared at the ships. It growled, then looked at Eli. And for the first time, it made a choice. It turned away from the battle and jumped. Eli followed, leaping into the canyon after him. The fall was long. The wind roared in their ears. Then they hit the river hard. The black water was cold and fast. Zarok pulled Eli from the current and swam to a cave near the shore. Inside, they collapsed on the floor. Wet, cold, alive. Eli laughed weakly. I can't believe that worked. Zarok looked at him with strange calmness. Then slowly, it smiled. Eli sat up. You understand more than they know, don't you? Zarok made a soft sound, almost like a yes. Far above, in the alien command ship, the scientists stared at a genetic scan. The report flashed. DNA match found. Human genome detected in subject Zarok. The scientist whispered, Dear stars, he's one of us. The cave was dark and cold. Eli and Jurok sat close to the glowing stones that lit the cave walls. Outside, the black river rushed by, but inside there was quiet. Eli took out a small medical scanner from his bag. It was old, but it still worked. He pointed it at Jurok's arm. The scanner beeped softly. A screen lit up showing strange shapes and colors, biological data. Eli frowned as he watched the reading. "Wait a minute," he said. "This doesn't make sense." Jurok watched him with wide, glowing eyes. Eli looked again at the data. There, mixed with alien DNA, were fragments of human DNA, clear and unmistakable. "How is this possible?" Eli whispered. He thought about the old wars, the experiments, and the secret projects humans had worked on behind closed doors. Projects so secret that even many soldiers didn't know about them. One name came to his mind: Project Chimera. Years ago, during the first human-alien war, Project Chimera had been a top-secret program. Scientists tried to create super soldiers by mixing human and alien DNA. Some experiments were stopped, and many test subjects were destroyed. But not all. Zarok was one of those subjects, made part human, part alien, created to be a perfect weapon. But something went wrong. Eli shivered. "They made you, but they left you here," he said softly. Zarok looked at him with sad eyes, as if it understood every word. Outside the cave, the alien ships searched the area. They sent out patrols, scanning every inch of the rocky canyons. Inside, Eli was thinking fast. If Zarok was part human, maybe the aliens feared him more than before. Maybe the humans who sent the project still wanted to find him. Suddenly, Eli's wrist console beeped. A message from the alien commander flashed on the screen. "Capture the subject alive. Do not harm. Transport for study." Eli frowned. "Study?" he muttered. "They don't want to kill him. They want to use him." Jurok growled low, a warning. That night, Eli couldn't sleep. He kept looking at the giant creature who now seemed less like a monster and more like a living being with memories, pain, and hope. He touched his own wrist. He had a secret, something he never told anyone. Years ago, Eli had been part of the military team that worked on Project Chimera. He had helped design some of the experiments. He felt a heavy weight in his chest. Had he helped create this being? Had he helped create a monster? But looking at Jurok, he knew this creature was not a monster. It was more human than many who called themselves that. The next morning, Eli heard a noise. A ship was landing nearby, smaller than the alien military ships. It was human. Out stepped a group of soldiers in dark uniforms, carrying weapons and scanning devices. Their leader was a woman with sharp eyes and a cold smile. She looked at Eli and Jurok. "Captain Ward," she said, "we've been looking for you, and the subject." Eli stood up, putting himself between Jurok and the new soldiers. "Who are you?" he asked. "We're from a special branch of the human military," she said. "We want Zarok back. He is a part of a program that belongs to us." Eli's heart sank. "He's not a weapon. He's alive. He feels." The woman smiled cruelly. "Feelings don't matter. Jurok is a tool. A super soldier. We intend to use him." Jurok growled, stepping forward. Eli raised his hands. "You don't understand. He doesn't want to fight anymore. He wants peace." The woman laughed. "You're a fool, Captain. You can't stop what's coming." Suddenly, the sky darkened. Alien warships appeared in the distance. They were closing in. Eli looked at Jurok and then at the soldiers. He realized they were caught between two armies. Both wanted the creature, but for different reasons. Zarok stepped forward and made a deep, rumbling sound. It was a warning, a promise that this fight was only beginning. Eli's heart pounded. He watched the dark sky where alien warships hovered, their engines glowing cold blue. On the ground, soldiers from both sides stood tense, weapons ready, waiting for a fight. The woman in the black uniform, Commander Ryla, stepped closer to Eli. "You don't get it, Captain," she said quietly. "Jurok isn't just some creature. He's a weapon we built, and we won't let him go. Eli's eyes burned with anger and pain. You built him? You made him suffer. You left him here to die. Ryla smiled bitterly. He was unstable, too dangerous to keep, but now he's escaped, and he can be controlled again. Zarok stood behind Eli, silent but watching. His glowing blue eyes seemed to search Eli's face. Long ago, Eli had worked with Project Chimera, the secret program where humans tried to make super soldiers by mixing human and alien DNA. It was dangerous and illegal. Most of the experiments failed, and many test subjects were killed. But Zarok was different. He was the most successful experiment. Stronger, faster, smarter, but also unpredictable. When he refused orders, they locked him away on Epsilon 6. Eli remembered the cold labs and the screams in the night. He remembered the faces of children who never came home. Ryla's voice broke his thoughts. We want to bring him back, Captain. We can fix him, control him, make him a weapon again. Eli shook his head. You can't control him. Not anymore. He's more than a weapon. He's alive. Suddenly, Zarok moved forward. His voice was deep, slow, and clear, words no one expected to hear. Why? He asked Eli. Everyone froze. Why did you leave me? Zarok repeated, looking at Eli with pain in his eyes. Eli swallowed hard. Because we were afraid. You were too powerful. We didn't know how to handle you. The soldiers and aliens exchanged shocked looks. No one had heard Zarok speak before. Ryla's face turned hard. Talking won't change anything. We're taking him back. Now. Eli stepped in front of Zarok. No, I won't let you. Suddenly, sirens blared across the base. Alien ships started landing, soldiers moving fast to surround Eli and the humans. The woman shouted orders. Capture them. Stop them. Zarok growled. The ground trembled. Eli grabbed a weapon from a fallen guard and fired a warning shot. We don't want to fight, but we will if we must. The first wave of soldiers rushed in. Zarok stepped forward, his massive claws tearing through energy shields and steel walls. Eli ran beside him, covering his back. The two fought together, one human, one monster, but both fighting for freedom. As the battle raged, Eli looked into Zarok's eyes and saw something new: hope. Stay close, Eli shouted. We need to get to the canyon. It's our only chance. Zarok roared in agreement and smashed through the enemy lines. After a long fight, they reached the edge of the canyon. Behind them, soldiers regrouped, preparing for another attack. Eli looked at Zarok, breathless. We can't keep running forever. Zarok nodded. Then we fight. Together. The two stood side by side, ready for whatever came next. Far above the planet, a shadow moved in space. A new ship appeared. A massive human battleship. Inside, a commander stared at the screen showing Epsilon 6. Prepare for Operation Chimera Reborn, she said. This creature will be ours, no matter the cost. The sun dipped below the jagged horizon of Epsilon 6, casting long shadows over the rocky landscape. Eli and Zarok crouched behind a large boulder, catching their breath. The sounds of battle had faded, but the danger was far from over. We can't stay here, Eli said quietly. They'll send more soldiers, and that battleship above, it means they're serious. Zarok's glowing blue eyes scanned the sky. They want me back, he said. To use me, to control me. Eli nodded. We need allies, people who want to help, not fight. Back at the alien outpost, the commander was furious. How did they escape? We had them surrounded. His second-in-command shook his head. Zarok is stronger than we thought, and that human. Captain Eli Ward, he's a problem. The commander slammed his fist on the table. Send out the hunters. Find them. Bring them back. Eli and Zarok moved carefully through the darkening desert. Eli's wrist console beeped. A message from an unknown source. Help is near. Meet at the ruins of Temple X9. Come alone, the message read. Eli looked at Jarok. Do you trust this? Jarok growled softly. It's a risk, but we have no choice. The ruins were ancient, crumbling pillars covered in strange symbols. As they approached, Eli's pulse quickened. Suddenly, a figure stepped out from the shadows. A woman in a gray cloak with sharp eyes and a calm smile. I'm Dr. Mirasolis, she said. I know what Project Chimera did. I want to help you. Eli lowered his weapon slightly. Why should we trust you? Mira's eyes softened. Because I'm a scientist who believes in freedom. I helped some of the test subjects escape. I want to stop the military from using creatures like Jarok as weapons. Jarok growled low. We eat her. Mira led them inside the ruins. She showed Eli ancient maps and technology hidden beneath the temple. We can hide here, she said, and work on a way to reverse the genetic changes, free Jarok from the project's control. Eli smiled for the first time in days. That's the hope we need. But danger was closer than they thought. From the shadows, a group of alien soldiers surrounded the temple ruins. They communicated through silent signals. The hunters were closing in. The commander's voice came through a communicator, cold and clear. The subject will be captured. No mistakes. Eliminate all obstacles. Inside the temple, Mira's eyes widened. They're here. Eli looked at Jarok. We fight for freedom. Jarok's claws flexed. Together. Outside, the hunters prepared to attack. Inside, Eli, Jarok, and Mira readied themselves for a battle that could decide their fate and the future of Project Chimera. The air was thick with tension. Inside the ancient temple ruins, Eli, Jarok, and Mira prepared for the attack. The walls were cracked, shadows twisting in the flickering light from their small fire. Outside, the alien hunters crept closer, their weapons ready, moving silently among the rocks. Eli checked his weapon, then looked at Mira. Are you sure your tech can help Jarok? Mira nodded. If we can reach the lab hidden under these ruins, I can start the process. But we need to hold them off until then. Jarok's blue eyes glowed brighter. Then let them come. The first shot rang out, a plasma blast hitting the temple wall. Dust and small stones fell. The hunters charged, shouting alien war cries. Eli fired back, taking down two with careful aim. Jarok moved like lightning, faster than any soldier. His claws ripped through armor and steel. Every strike sent shockwaves, throwing enemies off balance. Mira stayed near the control panel, typing quickly. I'm opening the secret door to the lab. The floor rumbled as a hidden passage slid open, revealing a narrow staircase going deep underground. Go, Mira shouted. Eli grabbed her arm. Wait, you need to come. She shook her head. No, I'm staying here to finish the override. Eli looked at Jarok. I'll protect her. You go. Jarok nodded and disappeared down the stairs. Underground, the lab was cold and dark. Ancient machines hummed softly, waiting to be powered on. Jarok walked slowly among the machines, sensing the memories hidden in the cold metal. His claws brushed over the control panels, feeling a connection. Mira's voice came through Eli's communicator. Jarok, we're starting the gene sequence reversal. It'll take time. Jarok closed his eyes. Pain and hope mixed inside him. He was no longer just a weapon. He could be free. Above ground, the battle raged. Eli fought fiercely, holding off the hunters as best as he could. Plasma blasts lit the night, and screams echoed across the rocky desert. The alien commander appeared, his face twisted with rage. You cannot win, humans. Eli shouted, We don't want to win. We want peace. The commander laughed coldly. Peace is a lie. Back in the lab, machines began to glow. The gene reversal process was working. Jarok's skin shimmered as the alien DNA started to fade, replaced by human traits. But the process was painful. Jarok roared in agony, his body shaking. Eli's voice came again. Hold on, Jarok. You're stronger than this. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. A warning. The commander had ordered heavy reinforcements. Zarok opened his eyes, brighter and clearer than before. He felt different, but the pain was still there. He ran up the stairs, bursting into the temple just as more hunters stormed inside. Ely and Mira fought side by side with Zarok. The trio was a powerful force, strength, skill, and hope united. As the fight reached its peak, a powerful explosion rocked the temple. A part of the ceiling collapsed, blocking the hunter's path. The alien commander snarled, "This isn't over." Ely helped Mira up. "We've bought some time. Let's finish what we started." Zarok looked at Ely, determination shining in his eyes. "We fight for freedom," Ely said. Zarok growled softly together. The temple was quiet now. The dust hung heavy in the air, and the distant echoes of battle faded into silence. Ely, Mira, and Zarok stood together, breathing hard. The gene reversal process had worked. Zarok's glowing blue eyes were softer now, almost human. He looked at Ely and said, "Thank you for saving me." Ely smiled. "You saved yourself, Zarok. You just needed someone to believe in you." Outside, the alien commander's ships retreated. The humans sent their battleship away too, both sides unwilling to risk more losses. For now, peace had a chance. Mira began setting up communications to reach other secret survivors of Project Chimera. "There are others out there," she said. "Like Zarok, they need help." Ely nodded. "Then this fight is only the beginning." Zarok looked up at the stars. "I want to find who I am and who I can be." Ely put a hand on his shoulder. "You're not alone anymore." The story of the monster who once scared everyone had changed. Now he was a symbol of hope, of courage, and of the power to choose one's own destiny. And though the battle was over, the journey was just beginning.